What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Young Lee Jr. here. We'll discuss about this Takashi 69 court case. Now, him testifying, people want to say snitching, things that he's been affiliated with the Nine Trey Bloods. And it's pretty much a gang, and it was a rivalry of the Nine Realm Blood Gang in New York. And this rapper here, just putting himself out there, trying to really make a name for himself, but really get into a lot of gang affiliations to the point that almost lost his life. Now he was being charged for racketeering, pretty much various of a lot of felony crimes, and part of a gang that does drug trafficking, violent crimes, robbing, all kinds of things that's really against society, man, and terrorizing their own people in their own territory or their neighborhoods. And for the most part, he just got caught up in some mess. Now, it all started off really kind of just very boring in his court case. They start off with his background. That's how it all starts based on the introduction. And I really listened to this many overtimes. And he went to campus middle school, went to Legacy High School. He went to talk about his work history, a little bit of his education, and how in his work, and when he was 13 years old, he used to work at a youth corps, and he was making a little bit of money of that, talking about misdemeanor cases of individuals, domestic delinquents in his neighborhood. He made a little money off of that, but he knew that he couldn't really pretty much sustain himself. And if you really go back into detail on what Takashi 69 and how he grew up, his family was very poor. His dad was killed by some gang members and everything, so he pretty much lost a lot of guidance. And this is before he really got serious with his music genre. So he noticed that, okay, well, he really had the aspiration to really be very successful in school because he wanted to put food on the table. He had to keep, help his mother pay the bills, and it was one of those things that he had to be the man of the house. And I really wish this young man had a little mentor to really help him, because yes, it was very traumatizing for this individual to go through. I mean, it's been days that he said, I think Vlad TV or whatever, on the interview, that when he couldn't, his stomach would growl so big, like so loud, to the point that his mother started crying because she knew she couldn't do anything about it. Couldn't really have any type of family members to give him food, so he had to sneak and get some food from other people or go into the trash cans and eat. And I said it to say that just because when we turned 15 to 16 years old, he started busting tables, he started working. And when you're working at a young age, with really that type of low motivation or the wrong motives, just put food on the table, you're really going to, for the most part, not going to focus on your academics. And this kind of led him into a path like, okay, well, is he going to go into the music industry, the entertainment industry? So he got into the music industry when he was like 20, in 2014, when he really started rapping. He signed a 2017 deal for some type of record label, and I remember he released Gummo. Now, Gummo, he really talked about in the lyrics. I didn't know Gummo was pretty much a diss, a Trippie Redd, and pretty much him, Trippie Redd actually signed a label before him, and they were just dissing with one another, saying, okay, I'm better than you, with the sticky, huh? With the, he was going on in detail. I mean, it's really a hard beat, but I'm looking like, okay. So that's according to what he testified in court, and he was talking about Trippie Redd's affiliated with the Nine Broom Blood. Now, this really gets interesting when I actually watched this surveillance video of him getting kidnapped. Now, when he was getting kidnapped, well, actually, before he got kidnapped, he actually stated, like, the people that was in the court that was affiliated with him, with this racketeering type of stuff, and the Trey 9 gang. Now, he snitched on Allison, and he talked about Harv. Now, Harv, he was trying to do an attempted robbery, and it actually was a phone conversation that was linked with Jim Jones. That was crazy. I wish I had my coffee. I can take a sip of this. But Jim Jones, I mean, I guess they don't meet with people anymore, but he was talking on the phone. Feds got into it. He was wiretapped. And pretty much the whole initial thing was for him to get violated. And I guess violation in New York means to be embarrassed, to get beaten up, to really much surrender, or to make an example of. And they would say, hey, he don't really need to security, whatever. He needs to be violated. And this was the whole thing. They try to really go into detail and investigate. Like, okay, so it was him and some other dude was really kind of set and pre-planned for Tekashi 69 to get kidnapped. This is pretty much just like a little movie sequence, man. I was on DJ Academic's channel, and it was like 21 minutes long. His friend George Rivera was there, and they kidnapped Tekashi 69, telling him to get in the car, him and Harv and his boys. And it's like, get in the car, get in the car, get in the effing car. It's like, get in the car or whatever. He was driving, and George got into another car, was trying to follow them, and when his boys was like Takashi 69 was speaking in Spanish, and which was pretty smart because it's another communication language. Not too many people. Well, I won't say African Americans don't really speak Spanish like that unless we learn it, but I understand for his situation, he knew they probably understood English, so that's why he said, call the cops in Spanish. And so George Rivera, calling the cops, he was on Orange Star in Spanish, talking to the cops, saying, hey, they kidnapped the rapper, Takashi 69, the singer Takashi 69, you know him, so that's when before he actually met the cop, they end up pulling a gun out on him and rushing at him because like, hey, why are you following us? And so he actually backed up reverse when an Orange Star did the right thing and called the cops and explained the situation. So he ended up going with NYPD. He spotted one, and NYPD listened, took notes, and he went all the way back to where the initial case started, what the situation started, man, for the crime scene. And for the most part, Takashi 69, he was there with Harv. Harv was just like pretty much like humiliating him, man, at this moment. They didn't show him getting beat, but according to the bruises, when he went to the medication, in the hospital and all that stuff, he had to get a CAT scan, went to Kings County, went to Long Island Hospital. Before all of that, he was just begging. He was begging according to Twitter. He was like, okay, and in the court, he was like, he begging, like, Harv, what do you want, man? I got you. I got you the money. I give you $100,000, man. Tomorrow morning when the bank opens, I give you $100,000. Just please let me go. Harv was thinking to himself, like, no, I'm not gonna let you go. Give me something. Would you give me what you have right now? I'm not gonna wait till tomorrow morning because you can all call the cops. You can recover from there. Then next you know, my plan is gonna be violated. It's gonna be infiltrated at this moment. So it's gonna defeat the purpose, which was pretty smart on his head. And so for the most part, they giving him $326,000 worth of jewelry. Got the jury, told him to get out the car. Boom, guess he was beaten, and that's when he went to the hospital. And I was just like, wow, man. And this is when I was praying for Tekashi 69 when I made a video about this, maybe a couple years ago, a year and a half ago. And I was like, man, this dude was really getting into some trouble. I remember Charlamagne the God, and they had a pastor praying for this individual and prophesying about his life. If you just turn from your wicked ways, man, maybe things will turn around. But you keep inviting these divine entities into your life. And him about this whole snitching thing, I'm not surprised. At the end of the day, I mean, when you do racketeering, you at least gonna do a minimum of 47 years. But they was like, if you cooperates, maybe do 25 years, they can at least lower the minimum sentence. And I think that's when in his mind stayed like, hey, he said Cardi B was part of the nine Trim Blood. I don't know why he mentioned her name, but okay. Uh, Jim Jones. I mean, these various individuals, Ellison, Harv. I mean, if Shadi was even his former manager. Now, what's really crazy is that he talked about Jay Prince and Rap A Lot Records. Now, he was saying that, they, Rap A Lot Records denied him going to a Houston gig, okay? And, and for him to retaliate and to get revenge, he was attempted to rob him in that situation. And Jay Prince was like, wait a minute, you are not. What are you talking about? Like, this was actually for my son's party. My son had a party in Houston. He didn't want Tekashi 69 to come. He didn't want him to get invited. He just didn't want him and his entourage to be there. And he's when he got upset. He was pretty much lying on Rap A Lot Records and all this stuff. He said if you really try to attempt to rob him, he was like he would have been got at home. Like at the end of the day, this would have never happened. And it's just you don't know what's really believable. But I really only thing I can go by is like the video, the stuff that's on Twitter. Thanks to Inner City what's the Inner City Spot on freaking on Twitter. He was just pretty much really talking about the whole script and everything that Tekashi 69 is saying to the lawyers and the judges. But I mean, this is really kind of crazy, man. I didn't want to just throw in random names though, but with the whole Jay Prince thing, who's CEO of Rap A Lot Records, he was like, yeah, at the end of the day, he was just mad because he didn't want to go to he wasn't invited to my son's Houston party. That's all that was. But it did show in the video that 5 perps, that law enforcement got a hold of, that 5 perps actually, put 2 victims, him and this other point at gunpoint, and actually stole like hard drives, a cell phone, and some jewelry and left at the end of the day. And this was happening around like March 2018, like 4:53 p.m. But the people that he's really naming, they're really gonna probably do another investigation. And he was just saying like, hey man, if I'm going down, all you guys are going down with me. People on Twitter saying Tekashi 69 is a huge freaking like, snitch and everything. But hey man, wherever happens in the dark comes into the light. And these are the things that he's doing. Do I feel sorry for Tekashi 69? In a way, a little bit, but at the same time, she should know right from wrong. If you're making money, if you're really making an impact in this music game, so stay out the way. But he said that he was buying bandanas. He feel like he was pretty much a pawn with the Trey Non-Bloods. Now, he joined the Trey Non-Bloods, and according to his testimony, back in 2017. Okay, this one just went in 3 years into the music industry. 2017, that's when he started joining them. That's when they was in his gumbo music videos. He was buying bandanas. Shotty was his manager. I mean, all these things, man. So after him and this whole situation, him and Harv, man, he told Shotty, and Shotty was like, okay, I'm gonna buy the biggest assault rifle. We gonna kill him and all this thing. So it's getting kind of crazy, man. It may be some other people going to the hammer, man. But I mean, with the whole Jim Jones thing, I did listen to the phone conversation with this. So I mean, did he really try to set this up? And Jim Jones is too old to be doing all this, man. I wonder what else he's going to do in day 3, day 4. I mean, it's just getting kind of crazy, man. This is really pretty much like a movie sequence of Tekashi 6ix9ine's case. But I'm not surprised for this individual, just snitching. I mean, people do this all the time, man. If they can really, because they're not going to really die for a lot of people. I mean, the loyalty is pretty much gone at the end of the day. I mean, they had sexual intercourse with this girl. They beat him up severely to the point he almost died. That's why the grace of God he survived. He had a computer tomography, and they actually helped him out. But at the same time, man, I don't know, man. It was ridiculous, man. Still jewelry and everything, man. But hey, you gotta be careful who you associate yourself with, man. At the end of the day, and if you don't have the Lord with you, then these are the type of things that are going to happen. The devil's going to come in, and the devil is the art of confusion, and so he's going to pretty much take a hold in your life if you invite him in, and then you're going to be pretty much eaten up inside subconsciously. And these are the things that these rappers and celebrities need to understand, though. And when you sell your soul and you doing all these things, yeah, man. You pretty much really a victim to this marine kingdom that's going on out here. A lot of spiritual things, man. So we don't fight, with flesh and blood, but the spiritual weakness from the heavenly realms. That's the all be all. It's a spiritual warfare that's going on. So he keep inviting these things. The only thing he can do is repent and just tell the truth at this moment. Yeah, just be candid as possible. That's all you can. I mean, people in the world might say, hey, man, you're not going to have any type of street cred doing this. Forget that. At the end of the day, you're a young man and you have a life ahead of you. But if you're robbing and you affiliate with someone that's killing people just for no reason, I mean, all these violent gangs, then at the end of the day, man, what are you inviting? What do you expect? You can't expect to prosper 24/7 with that. That's what, like, Satan really confuses people with, so you can have material riches or material gains. At the end of the day, you might have it for a temporary time, but how's your soul, how's your spirit's going to feel about that, man, or eternally? But it's a crazy thing. That's how I kind of really feel about this Tekashi 6ix9ine thing. This pretty much really summarizing everything. But yeah, it did start off boring at first, but when you get to the meat and potatoes of it, man, like last 15-20 minutes of it on watching DJ Academic's video, you will kind of understand it. So just kind of do some digging some deep research with this. But I don't know, man. It's getting crazy, man. He's really telling it all, but can't be surprised, man. If I was in a situation, yeah, I would tell. I mean, hey, all these people that was part of this game, you gonna be part of it with me at the end of the day, because I'm not gonna just be in the hammer and y'all just living prosperous and doing what y'all want to do and then going to the next game and forget about me. Are y'all gonna visit me? Are y'all gonna take care of my child? You think about all those things, but hey, it is what it is. That's all I really have to say about the situation, man. I'm not gonna draw this video too long. Thank you for watching this. This Tekashi 6ix9ine case is super crazy, man. But hey, people it's gonna be a lot of people, man. I'm pretty sure that's gonna be charged with this, man, along with Tekashi. But hey, so maybe he go to a lower minimal sentence. Depends on his cooperation. I don't know. Just email me at writing9312@gmail.com. I love you guys, man. Tell me guys what you think about this case, man. Think he's wrong for the snitching? Me personally, I at this point, I don't. What he has to lose? I don't think he's wrong for the snitching. But hey, that's just me personally. You guys tell me what you think. I love y'all. Take care. I'm out.